Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
And welcome to the S-4 Bunker, coming to you live here in Cape Horn in the Cascade Mountains of Washington State. It's not really exciting times, but it is exciting times, folks. Woohoo! Yeah. So tonight we have...
Okay, before you start, it is exciting times, okay?
Yeah?
Do you know the whole Kevin, or 7 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon?
Right.
6 degrees, but yeah.
Okay, 6, whatever.
I thought it was 9.
Did you guys hear what he just found out?
What?
What?
Is he related to Gandhi?
No, he's related to his wife.
Ew.
Oh.
What?
Him and Kara Cedric are second cousins.
That's not so bad.
Second cousins isn't bad. What the fuck? Okay.
Are they from the South?
Oh my god.
You spent too much time in the South.
I didn't spend that much time.
But yeah, no, they just found that out that they are cousins.
Oh, God.
They did that ancestry thing.
How did you not know
God,
that?
that would be terrible to
Fucking
figure out.
Ancestry.com.
Just like you.
God, that would be a nightmare.
Right. Well, you know that there was the person that went on Ancestry with their wife, and they figured out that they were brother and sister.
Were they related to Bigfoot?
Because one of them had been adopted out. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's really bad.
That's
Exciting times.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
So, tonight we're talking possessions and attachments and energy
Succubus!
Parasites.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun show. But before we get to that,
Yes.
it's Colonel... God damn it.
Sanders?
I no, not Sanders. I suck at notebooking. It's a colonel that's been tracking this whole disclosure thing since David Rush of last year. Mm-hmm. And they came out with the Chuck Schumer came out with a bill that they're trying to pass to make all these secret projects and whatnot more transparent, so that they can't get away with all the bullshit. And apparently they're almost done with what's called hypersonics.
Oh, Jesus.
So hypersonics, we can actually launch a missile to Russia or China, and it'll get there within 2 minutes.
Sweet.
Using alien technology.
Cool. Why don't we just find more inventive ways to kill each other without having to
Well,
actually
that's
see
the
each
thing.
other?
This technology is enough to power a city.
Yeah.
I mean, how about we go about getting free energy instead of, giving it to the military-industrial complex?
Oh, please. Tesla tried to get free energy millions of years
I know,
ago, and it
I
just
know.
didn't work.
Millions of years ago, eh?
I did say millions, but no. Like hundreds of years ago, Tesla
Fuck,
tried
that guy was talented.
to get fucking
But-
free energy for all.
Created a time machine first, went back, found free energy, built it, friend came back, died.
You supposedly have a time machine.
Dude, to be perfectly honest,
underneath the
I
Vatican.
really do believe that at one point a long, long time ago.
In
We
a
did
galaxy
have free
far, far
energy
away?
worldwide.
Yeah, but that was in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
No, that
It
was in
was. I
this
saw it, too.
galaxy right here, right. But
No,
in
it must have been a
different time.
Mandela effect. We
It
didn't
was
really
on
see it.
Atlantis because I remember it.
Ah.
And there's somebody that this entire show knows who was part of it. Was part of it. Are you still there?
Who?
There's somebody
Arceus.
on no, I'm not naming them publicly. They've already come out, but I'm not naming them. But yeah, there's somebody that this group knows. I don't think Rosella's ever met the person though.
Yeah, my God. Oh, sorry.
Who has talked very little about it, but yeah. And that person and I have talked about our times on Atlantis and what we remember. So yeah, big deal. It was free energy back then.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't the only time.
No, we probably had it in Egypt too.
Recycled Earth theory.
And Paulie. So, according to Colonel, we're at the year one of a 6-year window of 2024 to 2030, where if they don't do disclosure, there's going to be a catastrophic disclosure in 2030. Now, what the hell does that mean? I have no fucking idea.
Have you seen the movie Moonfall?
No idea. That was bad
Okay.
enough. It's going to come over every major city. Anyway, that's all I got. So, let's move on to possessions and attachments. So, what exactly is a possession?
An item that you own.
I agree.
Yeah. So it's when the devil. I'm actually a demonologist. Basically, when a demon sent from the devil takes over your body and starts to try to control you. There's 3 different ways of possession, and actually 3 different stages until possession.
Yeah.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah. I thought you
Okay.
were still talking.
So I'm sorry. I was like, I don't want to bore you guys if you already know it. So, but yeah. So there's basically the infestation. Basically, when you go, they start to get into your house. Kind of like Nikki's talking about all the time. Sometimes we have these spirits show up, and you're like, who the heck are you? That kind of thing. But they start to try to wean their way into your house, your property, that kind of thing. Yeah, Nikki's doing kind of signs in the camera. Yeah, it's definitely what she's saying. But yeah, so they just try to take over slowly your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, that kind of thing. And the more that you start to question it, just like, am I going crazy? Kind of like that. And in a way, it's like a gaslighting. So you start thinking that you're crazy, and then they start weaning their way in more and more and more, kind of isolating you away from family, friends, that kind of thing. Or else they start bringing your family and friends down. They can make your pets sick. They can even make your pets die. Really horrible situation.
They can
Yeah.
do physical to you too.
Yeah, so physical, mental, there's it can be scratches, marks, things like that. Usually it's when you wake up in the morning, so you'll fall asleep and then wake up in the morning and then see all these scratches in unusual places like your thighs or something like that. Just places that that you wouldn't be touching, or no one touched you in the night, that kind of thing. But then basically once the infestation period is over and they actually take possession, then they take over a lot of your thoughts, your actions. People will be like, okay, you're turned or something like that. People will say these things. Sometimes you can have blackout modes where you don't even remember days, hours, weeks. I wouldn't really say months maybe, but a lot of time can go by. To get rid of it, you really need a priest, is what they tell you. I will never do an exorcism. because I don't feel comfortable doing it. However, I will always exorcise the demons out of your house before I'm in there, kind of like in that infestation period. It's in your house. I get rid of it. So I do cleansings and do that. But basically, you have to make it name itself and say Hail Mary, and then it will go. But it will fight you for a really damn long time. It does not want to give it up. And once it gives up its name, you have it, but it is it can still get really bad.
And
They'll do a lot of
there's a black book.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that not all possessions are religious based, though, either.
Not all
you
possessions
can
are
get
demonic.
possessed by other entities other than
Yes.
demons as well. I know that in Islam
just talking
faith,
about
like in the Islamic faith, the jinn can possess.
Well, spirits themselves can
There's also possession by what we would call the shadow entities,
Parasite.
and then
we'll get to parasites. There's a whole other
Parasitic
topic.
infestation.
Are
Yeah.
evil little things. Yeah, they are evil. I've taken a lot of parasitical parasites and stuff like off of people. And there's actually notes on that about my blog. So if you're interested in how to take that off somebody, or an experience that I've had, and then my friend actually Amy had, go to that. And like, if you're thinking you're crazy, maybe I'm experiencing this, go to that, and then there's an example. You can write us on Discord too and ask us some questions. You're not crazy, I'm sure, because if you are already thinking that this might be happening, it's probably happening to you. So it's not just you.
Kayla,
Yeah.
So possessions, to clarify, aren't demonic possession, and this even
that's not nice.
every Wednesday, well, the last couple Wednesday nights, I've been getting in the habit of watching Paranormal Connections. They're live. They go from like 5 to 6:30 or something. And tonight they actually had the Warren, as in Ed and Lorraine Warren. They had the Warren Foundation. So obviously Ed and Lorraine are passed on, but they've got a whole foundation. They have a father.
Their grandson is very involved in the Warren Foundation.
Right. Well, they had four different people from the Warren Foundation on, and they were talking, and even they said, all the cases they do, most of them are mundane, most of them are explainable. Demonic possession is highly, highly rare. It does happen, but it's highly rare.
The wannabes.
Well, and not even that. Like I said, come on, spirits can fucking possess you. What do you think happens when channelers? So people that do channelings, technically,
True channeling. There's
true
a difference.
channelings, however, are possessions. That entity or whatever you let go, that come into you to deliver its message, is possessing your body.
There's just an FYI. There's been a significant description change in the word channeling in the last 15 years, specifically in the last 5 to 6 years.
Where is it now?
Channeling now is almost everybody uses it as one specific way now, and that is their mediumship abilities. They're channeling a spirit, or they're channeling, but the true meaning of channeling, old school terminology, it actually means to allow that spirit to completely enter your human, living, physical body and completely take it over, shutting your consciousness down,
Ghost.
and allowing it to come. Yes, it is it doesn't have to be earthbound, but it's a spirit in spirit form, in the etheric form, and they can enter the medium, the psychic medium, and allow that. And it's a merging of the two souls in one body. One soul is suppressed from the body, the one that's living in it, and the one that is in spirit form is allowed to take control of that body. That is also a form of possession. But what channeling is becoming now, and the terminology of it, is that people are literally using it as, oh, well, I'm channeling your great uncle, my great uncle, or God, or there's a difference in mediumship. This is a level of mediumship where you are literally in telepathic communication with the person, the spirit, or the demon, or God, or Jesus, or whoever it is that you're communicating with. It is literally a form of mediumship abilities. It is not true channeling. That said, a lot of people are going to take serious issue with me over that, but that is what is going on really the last 5 to 6 years.
So the famous channelers, I will say, the called Raelism is Claude Virilhan, who gets channelings from Rael, an ancient alien entity. You have Billy Myers, and I can't remember the name of the entity that channels him, but gives him pretty accurate, I use that term loosely, prophecies. Of course, anyone local to Washington knows about the Romphans. JD Knight, JZ Knight channels the Romphan.
Rompha.
Yeah. Yeah. Romphan is the plural. But, yeah, I mean, come on.
What do you mean?
I get it irritates me. It does.
But it's true channel. It's true.
So you don't believe in any of this? Yeah.
Not all of them. I really don't.
I don't, so, yeah.
I mean,
I do
couldn't you also consider automatic writing as a form of possession? They're taking over your hands, or you're using your body to write messages.
I think that's actually a good point. Yes, I think you kind of could, just like Nikki was saying. They're still using your body, that soul bonding as one, to get their message out. So, yeah, I think you could say that. And I've actually done some automatic, writing, not even knowing I was kind of doing it until I looked up and everybody's like, well, what are you writing? So I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought I was doing something. I thought I was looking over here and then talking to the spirit. So, didn't even know I was doing it. I think you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different. It is a different form of possession.
So
if you have anything being taken over, or if you, here's the other side to that.
Okay.
What if somebody says that it's not the spirit taking over the body or that section of the body, but it's part of your abilities that literally are so strong that it literally shuts down all other avenues of your body, so that your psychic mediumship abilities and higher consciousness, extreme higher consciousness, literally shut everything else out. There's the other side of that one.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I can believe that really could happen. Yeah.
So
I mean,
there's a medium. I can't remember this guy. He's got a huge following, but they actually did a brain scan or an EEG of his brain from normal baseline, and actually while he was a channel, and there were different parts of his brain that actually changed color and activated while he was in the channel, or while he was whatever the being's name was, I don't remember. But you could see, and they videotaped him. You could actually see the personality change, his whole face changed, and his voice changed when it was the being in his body.
I mean, it's
Well, and that's because real possession, the being literally, and just like in the old terminology of channeling, the being, the soul, the spirit, can literally change every aspect of the physical body. And that has been well documented.
I mean, when I do it, like people say, the best thing about my readings is that I will actually say, like, how this person used to say things. Like, okay, so if he's like, and then the dog was really annoying or something, and I wanted to kick it across the room, you know, and maybe like somebody came in and said this all the time because the dog was on his nerves or something like that. And this is just a funny saying that he would say. And I'm just making this example, like, clearly up right now. But it's like I would emphasize those areas. I repeat it just as the spirit actually wants me, as they say it. I'm saying exactly the same so that the people know that that actually is that person, because their mannerisms and everything. And people will be like, well, your voice changes, your whole demeanor changes and everything. And it's like I kind of become that person because I'm hearing them, I'm seeing them in my mind, in my mind's eye, that kind of thing, but also physically in front of me as well. So I think that it's just different for, like, you know, everybody is different. And people will say to me, well, how do you do it? How do you do this? And I'm going to say my way I do it is never going to be the same as another person's, really.
Yeah. Each psychic medium is completely different in how they, every
process
aspect.
And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I will say that you got to vet your mediums too, because there are people with true abilities out there for sure, but there are a lot of people out there just looking for a quick buck and preying off of people that want to hear something.
Right.
Or they're doing
The thing is,
forms-
and we really suffer because we're real, so we suffer.
I swear you
Or
just
or
said
they're-
there's people out there looking for a quick fuck.
No.
That too.
or they're out there doing really not good things and deliberately getting attached and taken over so that they can promote themselves as good people or good person, and the demon, the wannabe, is actually doing all the work. So you got to watch out.
That actually, yeah, it's a very, very good
Research.
point. Because in my demonology too, they will do every paranormal trick and every psychological trick in the book to try to like get in there and get what they want. And the big thing too to really note is if you are religious in any way, like you pray, no matter what religion you are, it really doesn't matter to me. But if you are religious and you are practicing like that religion, just practicing every single day, even like a lot of times a day, they will really try to come attack you. The more you actually practice, those spiritual attacks keep coming to me, because when I do like God's work, I always say, the more I've had attacks, like, gosh, I think every 2 weeks now since I've been helping a lot more people. So, and the Bible says too that you will have that the more you do practice, that Satan, will come for you. It is true, because I say if you don't believe it, you really will once you start doing a lot of the work that you're supposed to do for God, the angels. For me, I've experienced that. So it's like you have to really keep your guard up and protect it. Like I protect my property every week now, like my car, my children, my pets. I'm like, put an angel in front of every dog, like, every cage, because I have bunnies. So I really have to like go through every single thing, and I have to go through every single room in my house, even the basement, because if I forget the basement, it will come in the basement. So yeah, everything you have to be on guard, because they will come, they'll use every dirty trick.
So here's one for you too. So I was watching this preacher the other day. Yes, I watch preachers. I like to hear different viewpoints. And this preacher said Christians cannot be possessed. It is physically impossible for a Christian to be possessed. Like, really? Anybody can be possessed. I don't give a damn how strong your faith is. Anybody can be possessed.
But the more that you are faithful, the more they come for you. and it says it in the Bible. So what is it?
I'm not gonna lie, there's a few people out there that they probably get in there for 1 second, are like, nope, fuck this shit, I can't do this, I'm out.
Yep.
That bitch is crazy.
Yeah, there's even the crazy people they don't want to touch, right?
But no,
That explains why I can't be
I was still wishing the
possessed.
guy was live because I would have had fun with him. But yeah, they're recorded videos I'm watching.
I mean, speaking of that, there's actually a funny story where there's somebody I know who got thrown out of a paranormal group because they were fake channeling. And they did it because they were on, well, she was really conceited, complete narcissist. And she loved any kind of attention, to think that she was powerful of any kind, right? But they had a camera on her. And they said that she did it. And after that, they saw her smile in it because it was dark. They couldn't see it. But with the infrared, they saw it on the camera. And that she was smiling when she was really faking it. And they were starting to kind of believe it. And they threw her out of the group. So it's funny how you said, I'm out of here, this crazy bitch. Kind of
Bitch
thing.
crazy.
Like,
I ain't dealing with crazy. Well, and it would make you wonder if they are drugged up.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing it for? I don't understand the negative attention is still attention thing.
I'm just kind of mesmerized by Paulie's demonic bean boy.
Bean boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Possessions again don't happen too often, and we really focus on this a lot with paranormal investigators because you got so many out there that have no clue what they're doing. One, have no clue about the dangers and about the need for protecting yourself. For 2 and 3. So you walk through a haunted area. Are you going to get possessed? Probably not. Honestly,
You might run away with an attachment. But
that's what I was going at. You're actually more likely to walk out with an attachment, which can either be just a parasite or it could be a spirit.
But I gotta say, some of those attachments are just as bad as a possession.
So we're going to go over the signs of possession versus the signs of attachment. And
Okay.
real quick,
Now, wait a
though,
minute.
I want to piggyback off what Rosilla said in the beginning. Demons do not kill you. You
They
kill
only
you.
make you stronger.
They will try to make you kill yourself. Yeah.
Right. They will bring you down to the lowest point of your life to where you commit suicide. That is how demons kill you.
Well, that doesn't.
Demons themselves do not. They don't do the dirty work.
No. Well,
But
they can't because
anyway.
we. Okay, so if you go by Bible philosophy, okay, they can't kill us because we still technically have that thing called free will.
Right.
So we have to be the ones to end,
And that's why you kill
because of
yourself.
the fact that we have the will to live or will to die.
Yeah.
And they have to make you want to die.
Well, that's why they
Yeah.
bring you
Yeah.
down to depression level.
Yeah, they have
The
to.
living person psychologically so bad into that person wanting to die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And those, correct me if I'm wrong, are usually your higher level demons. Not your lower level. Lower level,
No,
they're
because
just...
the wannabes will try it too.
They'll
the
try,
wannabes
but
will
they're
get
not near
pretty
as
bad.
strong.
Yeah.
Well, and it depends on the
Yeah.
person's level of self-control to start with.
Right.
Okay, because
Yes,
if you were to
right.
take over a person that is very, very strong-willed and very, very against killing themselves and everything else, it's going to be way harder to convince them than somebody who's already almost at that point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have the very what are my words here? I'm on the other side of the fence here. Not all demons. I'll say that. Oh yeah, there's good demons. I know people that actually work with demons to get things done
Why? So do I.
without a price. Not all demons
that's
bad.
it.
Calling all demons bad is just like calling all humans bad.
Well, it's just another race of being.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's got to be the spectrum of good. There's got to be the spectrum of bad in every race of anything.
The reason,
Everybody
the only
about it.
the only reason people think all demons are bad is if you are religious and go off the biblical perspective. That is it.
Well,
I don't know.
If you look, okay, I'll tell you right now. Look at the old ancient Greece writings, where they talked about demons. Demons were actually benevolent nature spirits, and that was before the Bible.
Okay, so don't you think, though, I mean, okay, playing devil's advocate, don't you think that could have been a referral to elementals?
It was elementals. Those elemental nature spirits.
Okay, so, but that's like definitely not demons in my book.
So they were called daemon, which is what the Old English and the old cultures called demons to begin with. Was daemon? Look at King James. King James wrote the book of Damon. They called demons daemons back then.
yeah.
Huh.
But you got to also understand that even if you're going by the biblical aspect of it, okay, that at one point Lucifer himself was an angel. Like at one point he was the morning star.
Well, he was God's right hand.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So at one point he wasn't full of all the hatred and anger and everything else that he eventually became.
He wanted to be like God. Which
Yeah,
is interesting because Lilith wanted to be equal to man. And all of a sudden they made Lilith the mother of demons. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Because a woman wants to be equal?
Well, that was a little...
No. Okay, so let's look at Lilith for a second. Lilith and Adam at that time were created by the same.
Okay, but that also depends on what version of what you go by.
I'm going
Because
by the old Judaic.
honestly, in the Christian Judeo Bible, there is no Lilith.
Yeah, that's a.
That's going by the Jewish version, the Hebrew version.
Yeah,
of
you know
the
what I'm
Bible.
saying,
Yeah.
though. It depends on
Why
which...
would you trust those fuckers? They fucking crucified our God. Like,
I thought that was your people.
no,
Oh.
I'm Catholic.
Oh.
The guy said I felt bad
okay.
for it. It wasn't did it.
Love it.
And I told you, my view is not the popular view. The popular
See,
view is,
my
oh my
view-
God, all demons are evil. No,
My view on demons
I
is
tend
not
to
a
disagree with
popular
that.
view either.
Huh?
My view on demons is not a popular view either.
Right.
Because I believe that every entity, no matter what it is, has the ability
To be
within
good or
it
evil.
to change its
Mm-hmm.
destiny. Whatever it is.
I do
And that
agree
makes
with
sense.
that.
And that makes sense.
I think
Makes
all demons
complete
are bad.
sense, yeah. But I mean, it's just like, like that free will all the time. We all have it, and even if you're a spirit, it doesn't matter. It's free will.
And that's what I'm saying. Everybody has the right to change their outcome. No matter what
Show me a demon
species,
that
no
pays
matter
their taxes
what
and I'll show you
entity
a
or
good demon.
anything like that
Well,
they
I've
are,
never seen one.
they have the ability
Yeah,
within them
so they're all
to be
bad.
able to change.
Yeah. Right. I just never had the. I mean, as a person who gets rid of spirits, that aren't good, right? So
Yeah.
there are levels of the wannabes, which I kind of call the baddies in a way too. But like just then the demons, level of demons is very different. I've seen small ones, I've seen big ones, I've seen mediocre ones who want to be really bad. But I've not worked with anything kind when it's on that level, I guess. I mean,
From what I'm seeing is that you go in when there's a specific problem related to
Yes.
that.
Yep.
So
Yes.
you would only see the bad end spectrum of something because you're only going in when somebody has enough issues with it
We don't
to
get
say,
called.
I need help.
We don't get called when there's good shit going on.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you have a friendly ghost that lives in your house that talks to you every once in a while, those aren't the people that call for you to take that ghost out. You know what I mean?
The closest you're going to get to that is just the ones that want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you come in and you explain to the spirit that you passed on, and they go, oh, holy shit, I did? God damn it! And
Yeah.
and so you kind of get not really a contract, but you get an agreement with the spirit in the family that, hey, they didn't know they're dead. They're not going to mess with the dog and the kids anymore, and they're
Yeah,
fine. You don't got to do nothing. You just go home.
Well, also you got to look at the fact that each individual group. Okay, so if we're talking about demons, if we're talking about ETs, if we're talking about any of these entities, right? Each group of entities has its moral code. Okay? So they've been taught from the time that they were this age or whatever the hell that this is what you're supposed to be doing. That this is what makes you good at being this. Okay? So in their minds, what they're doing isn't actually a bad thing. Right. It's something that they have had to do because that's the path that they got pushed. Yeah, that's their job. That's what they are. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when you see those. Okay, this is a terrible example, but when you see those movies about like vampires, okay?
Oh God!
And they have been told their entire life, you need to do this in order to live. You need to do this in order to live. And then you always get that one, like I call them vegan vampires, that decides to like eat deer or vampire. You know, something like that instead of humans.
Yes. You're funny.
That's the first one I want to stake through the heart now. Way to go.
You can't stake them.
Yeah, I can.
No, you got to tofu one.
I'll feed him the steak and then I'll fucking put it through his heart.
It's fucking sparkly.
Oh my God.
God damn.
But you know what I mean? They choose to not suck humans' blood. They choose to use animal to fulfill that.
Pig
or
blood.
they choose to use blood bank blood to fulfill that instead of actually killing in order to get.
Or maybe they just suck the tip.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay, so let's go into the...
Could be a gay vampire.
I'll turn it over to you guys. What are the signs of possession versus the signs for an attachment?
Well, to be perfectly honest with either of them, okay, what I've noticed is that sometimes you can't tell. Sometimes there are no signs. Because of the fact that whatever the entity is that is doing this is doing it in such a manner that the person doesn't even realize what's happening. Or that they go to sleep, and during that period of time, that's when it takes over. So they won't even know anything is going on for years sometimes.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of different stories like that. There's like some cases too where like whenever this one girl like sat down in front of the piano or something, she thought she was playing the piano the whole time. But that's when she actually kind of turned into somebody else and started doing all these crazy acts. So you just really, there's signs, but then is there really signs? Because you have to really know the person and their personality really well and kind of be around them like most of the time to really see the demeanor, the things like that.
Definitely are signs of late stage, okay? Once they actually get complete hold of you and can take over everything. But by that point, some of them have been around for years already.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Without anybody noticing any major differences until one day they're just a completely different freaking person.
Mm-hmm. Well, personality change.
And then they usually blame that on some kind of societal thing or something that's happening in the world anyways.
Well, and there's like, so you brought up something pretty important because you said some of them. So you can actually have more than one demon living inside of you at one time, and they can kind of go dormant for a little while and then come back. I've had cases, this one guy, he had 3 of them that would kind of come and go, and it could be months until like maybe 4 months later another one comes, like that one comes back, and it bounced from person to person to person all over the world. It didn't matter, and it just kind of was like, okay, I'm going to Fred now, okay, I'm going to Henry, or I'm going to Jake, you know. So it did whatever it wanted. So that was a really good point to bring that up.
Now it also
had a team that I was on, 5-man team, men, women. And we pulled 33 off.
Whoa.
I counted. and I had never experienced anything like it in my life. The person's soul cord was so thin, it was almost thin, but not quite, almost as thin as a sewing thread, okay? I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Anything like it in my life, and nothing since. It just, I was so blown over by it. And let me tell you, when you talk about God and Jesus and a cadre of angels surrounding us, so that those demons, those wannabes, wouldn't touch us.
Yeah.
I've never experienced anything like that. But we pulled 33 off of him. It was insane. I was like, is this even real? And then I'd get poked by one of the angels going, "Oh, it's real," and we just kept pulling.
Now,
It was the wildest thing I'd ever seen. And Rosella is exactly right. They literally will minimize themselves so small that each one of them comes out, and it's almost like different personality, like a different personality disorder in some way when it's that bad. And that's exactly what was happening with this person. And they were not, they were considered, well, not psychologically okay, but they were not considered multi-personality by any stretch of the imagination.
Which is a great point to bring up, because most people...
Or narcissists. But once all of those demons went, I mean, it was like night and day.
Huh. Yeah, because it's a good point to bring up, because, and we haven't really said it, but mental illness, you have to eliminate mental illness first, which people, they'll say that. So in my demonology class too, in that course, they were like, you have to eliminate that first, because most of the time the person is mentally ill, and it's not a demonic attack. Or possession, like I should say possession, because possession actually really is extremely rare. Like it's like 5%. It's very rare.
Very rare. Yes.
TV throws it around. Oh my God, it's evil. It's demonic. No, it's okay. Come on, it's really rare. Like now, those little the spirits that we were talking about, the parasitical ones that are around. Those are everywhere. But just floating around. I'm bored. Breathe. Let's go down. Because everything's an invitation. You're never supposed to invite them. Wherever, say, on a paranormal investigation, poke me, touch me, anything like that is an invitation. So really need to note that. That was like the most important thing too in the course. They're like, don't go on these things or these ghost tours and say, touch me, or you have my permission to use my energy. Don't do that. It's an invitation. So, but yeah, eliminate mental illness first.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a very good point.
So Eric had to run. Brandon.
Okay.
He'll be right back. Brandon. I need you guys to just keep running with this. I don't know shit about possession.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up something that for some people is a little bit controversial when it comes to possession, and it's that. Okay, so we talk about demon possession, and obviously there is demon possession. We've seen enough documented cases of demon possession that we know it does happen. But a lot of people don't think of the other side of that too, where there is angelic possession as well.
I think it's a great point, because there is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, if I bring up an angelic possession, are like, no, that can't happen. It does. It happens just as often as true demonic possession does.
Right. I mean, yeah, because sometimes angels will say things to me, and really gang up on me in a way of like, you have to do this. And then I have felt like, times where them like, I think that they just kind of took over for a second, and I just did that. And it's not a bad thing. It's like kind of like a miracle, really wonderful thing. But you're right. So I think that we should never overlook that. Like how people are suddenly I have the power to pick up the car. before, because it was like crushing somebody or something, accidents, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's angelic possession.
Well, and I mean, realistically, if you look at the Bible and the way the Bible is portrayed and the way the Bible is set up, if you think of some of the apostles and some of the acts that they did and some of the things that they did, that
Right.
just screams angelic possession.
Do you know what I want to see? I want to see a news story where they say, today, a human possessed a demon and ran amok in hell. Just fucked everything up. Friend.
Now,
All of a sudden, a demon was doing kind gestures in hell.
Now, see, that's another thing that people don't think about either, is the fact that humans are also capable of this. Okay? That
Right.
it's a totally different form of possession when a human possesses another human, but it is possible.
That's not allowed anymore, Kayla.
No, oh my god. Okay, I'm not talking about slavery. But kind of at the same time, I'm talking about the fact that a person can twist and manipulate the shit out of somebody in order to make them do things that they didn't even know that they were capable of doing. Or that they would never, ever do if it hadn't have been for the words and the manipulation and the everything else of that person. And that in itself is a form of possession.
Yeah, but honestly, that's throwing around way too much. We saw that today.
Yeah.
That
saw
stupid
it
show.
today.
Yeah, okay, so for me and Kayla were watching this show called
Fear Thy Neighbor.
Fear Thy Neighbor, and it was about neighbors' fights turning violently deadly.
Yes.
And, friend, this daughter is sitting there talking about her dad and how he would never do these things, he would never do this, he would never do this. Friend, he did it! Friend, and the things that the other guy was saying to him weren't that provoking. Like, most of them could be laughed off. There is no reason that he actually had to shoot the guy, 2 cops, the guy's daughter in the back. Like,
Holy
everything.
crap.
Yeah, like, the whole thing was just stupid.
God, it sounds like the cell phone movie theater thing. Remember the guy who killed, I don't know if he even killed him, but shot the guy in the movie
Shot the
theater?
guy because his cell phone rang. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so long ago, like 2000s, like early, but I still remember that. Hell, I won't put my phone out in a movie theater to this day. I'm like, nope. No, road rage, things like that. It's kind of what you're describing. In a way.
Yeah,
Well-
and that's the thing. Like, I get words can hurt. I understand that manipulation is a thing, but at the same time, we throw it around way too much to the point where you can get away with anything because it could be someone else's fault.
Well,
Well,
yes.
though what kind of, Kayla is saying, I think, right, too, is like when you're around somebody so much, don't you believe you get influenced by that person? You kind of become, like, influenced by their actions and their traits.
Oh,
Like, there's
absolutely. But I mean, I guess what I'm actually trying to get at here is there are people in this world that I swear their sole freaking purpose is manipulation and destruction. Okay?
Yeah.
And they're narcissistic most of the time, but they take somebody that they figure out a way to manipulate them, and they figure out a way to work their way into their life and to be part of this, everything else, just to make them do horrible acts or things, because it's almost like a sick, twisted game.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I just got rid of somebody a few months ago like that. Yeah.
And
When you were
Pretty
describing, I was thinking of Jeffrey Epstein. That's exactly what that reminds me of.
I'm thinking of certain politicians. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were a bunch of people that ran through my head, but Epstein is the one that was the one that, like, yelled the loudest. Well, not
Right.
him per se.
And I mean,
but, you know.
well, and it just goes. This is why we have things like dictators and cult leaders and different
Yep.
things like that, because they are so damn good at taking
Yeah.
people and manipulating the shit out of them to
Well, I
make
mean,
them
that's-
believe something that isn't necessarily true.
Yeah, I mean, like the Epstein thing, like one girl who's still alive is in jail, right? She still doesn't believe she did anything really wrong.
Right.
You know, articles where you read about her, which has been a while now, but I don't think I should be in jail. I think that I should be allowed to do this or that. I didn't really do anything that bad. Just because I'm alive, I'm getting punished because he's dead. And it's like, what the hell? But
And
yeah,
you know-
I mean, she believes her own crap, her own lie.
The other thing that a lot of people don't think about as possession either is the whole ET connection too. Okay? It is possible for ETs to also possess you or to manipulate you into doing things or
Yeah.
and really it's possible for pretty much any entity to do that.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, ETs will definitely, living ETs, spirit ETs, they won't do it. It's more rare than the demons. But the ones that are alive, that are nefarious, and that have the ability, the power, the energy, the frequency to be able to do it, there are, there are beings that'll do it.
And to be perfectly
It can be a
honest,
distance, too.
I would much rather take on a demon or an ET any day than another human. At least then you know a little bit about what you're getting into there. Okay, but humans are fucked, man. They're terrible. Like, I don't know how to put that any other way.
Well,
But-
it's funny. My friend Missy, she always says when we go paranormal, like go to do paranormal tours and ghost hunting, she goes, I don't care about the ghosts. I'm not afraid of the ghosts. I'm afraid of the living.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of the ghost. I'm afraid of the guy that's hiding in the bushes where I'm checking out the ghost. Okay?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
right? Because to be honest, people are probably the worst at destruction and anger and everything else. Like, and they snap. They snap so easy. It's freaking ridiculous.
Oh, I know. So yeah, like the road rage too and the driving. I always thought I'm not afraid of what I'm going to do. My reactions or actions, I'm afraid of the other person's. You know?
Right.
So yeah, it's the same kind of thing. People are awful.
Absolutely.
That's right.
You mean
Y'all
you're
suck.
with any day?
And that's what I said. I would much rather deal with a demon than a terrible freaking person any day of the week.
I know what you mean. Yeah, at least you know what you're getting into, and you know how to respond and what you're dealing with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where people are just so awkward sometimes that the nicest person, the person that you think could be your best friend, will end up shooting you in the back for no reason. They're psychotic.
Well, it's like husbands killing the wives, right? It's this is supposed to be a marriage.
Or
and
vice
it's supposed to be
versa.
love.
There's been a lot of vice versa on that too.
Right, yeah. I was just, throwing generic, out there. But, the Peterson thing or something? I forget what that one was, where he killed his pregnant wife and all that, right?
Yeah.
I thought of that, it just came to my head. But, yeah, that kind of thing. It's how can you do this to somebody you love? But yet people are so crazy.
The
Well,
other
that's
thing...
because most of those people that do that, they actually don't have the ability to love.
That's what I said.
yeah.
Most of them are what you would call your classic psychopaths or sociopaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sociopaths.
But you also... There are a lot of cases like that where the person claims that the reason that they did the things that they did was because they were under possession.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
And trying to weed out whether you're just a terrible person or whether you actually were possessed by something is a really hard process.
Yeah. That's true. Well, and then there's just mental illness. So you could just be a terrible person who wants to do evil things, and not get caught. So you make up the lie, or you are really mentally ill and you just like, I'm going to pick up a knife and stab somebody because I'm hearing your voice. So there's a lot of schizophrenic people who do that. Unfortunately, I worked in a mental asylum for my residency, so it was pretty bad. I saw this guy pick up a fork and just try to kill me, and then the next night he tried to kill my friend, who she locked herself into a bathroom. And then 3 nights later, he tried to kill himself by choking on tater tots.
Well, and the thing is that we have doctors, we have medicines that can help people, we have a lot of things that can help with mental illnesses, and it is so difficult to get the services that people need and for them to continuously stay on the services that they need, because even if you got the ones that you need, then 6 months later your insurance no longer covers this, or you no longer fall into this category, so therefore you can't now afford the medication that you need, and it's just a horrible cycle that keeps. If we could just figure out a way to help with it without making it these terrible cycles. We really need to do better as a world with figuring out how to help people that have issues like this, so that shit doesn't end up happening that really, if you think about it, isn't entirely their fault, because they don't know what they're doing once they get to that point.
Exactly. We need to spend more money on mental health and less money on silly
programs.
Yes, that are just gigantic wastes of money. We can't even get infrastructure in this country. We spend billions, and I love education. Don't get me wrong. I want to see teachers make money. I've got friends of mine that are teachers, but we throw more money in this country at education for zero return on it. And the reason that is it all goes to bureaucrats, because anytime the government gets involved in anything, it screws it up. But that's the problem. We need money to be going to mental health desperately.
Absolutely. Because if you really think about it, that's the #1 pandemic in the world.
And we can put the druggies on Drug Island. So
I think syphilis is still up there.
Yeah, well,
even simple pills are really expensive. It depends on what insurance you have, and if your company, like my husband, his company that he has that he's under, basically they choose the insurance. You don't have a choice, right? Like normal people don't have choices. So if you get crap insurance, you get crap insurance, and we have crap insurance because they don't want to pay for just certain things. But it's like, okay, we used to have this insurance. It was $4. Now it's $120 for a pill. Like, this is insane. So that kind of stuff. We need to make sure that Medicare and things like more things are covered. More people can get Medicare coverage, if you ask me. I mean, I know that people won't like that I throw this out there. I was really for the start of Obamacare, just because I know a lot of people who didn't have money, who are my friends from high school, and it saved their life. Like my one friend had cancer, and she's like, I'd be dead if it wasn't for Obamacare. So people trash it, but I'm alive because of it.
Well,
absolutely.
We get our Medicare because of Obamacare. If it wasn't for that, we'd be up the creek. So
more people need to get out there and say that,
Well, and the thing is that you have X amount of states that don't. And I'm from Texas, and they do the whole, well, no, everybody needs to pay their way. Well, there's an exception that should be made in a lot of cases, and there should be a net for the people that can't, because insurance companies have priced people out. And it's because the bureaucrats and everybody else have all this internal wrangling and people getting paid off, and I can go on and on about it. But yes, the main thing is, yes, I agree. Yeah, we need to be funding government health care. It may not be the best in the world, but at least it's something as opposed to...
Well, but here's the thing. They're not going to, as long as they're getting better than the people. So what needs to happen is you have, Congress, House and Senate, needs to, one, have term limits. And not just term limits, but they need to have the same health care that people do.
Exactly.
Or
Well,
that'll never change.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And here's the thing, though, too. If you are self-employed, which most people are these days, a lot of people started their own businesses. How many? Like, I mean, this is like a small business boom for how many years?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so people can't afford anything like for themselves, and then they have to pay for their employees. So sometimes they don't pay for themselves.
Yeah.
We really have to care about looking into this. And I don't know much about Canada. Last time I lived there, I was like, like really little kid, so I won't really go into that. But I mean, when I talk to Canadians, they're always telling me that their stuff, you have to wait a little bit, but it's better because they will get care. So I'm not sure. Oh, Nikki's giving me a look. I mean, I had a friend who had cancer, and she was always saying, like, people say things in America, but they don't know really what's going on over here. I get care. And she was always happy. What? Sorry,
my fault. I interrupted. Are you done?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said,
I had my cousins live in Canada, and one male cousin worked for a U.S. Corporation, and he was in a life-threatening situation, and I'm not going to say what. He'll probably get very angry at me for even talking about this. But if it had not have been for the fact that he worked for an American company, they flew him to the United States for a life-threatening but life-saving surgery. And if that was not done, he was repeatedly told that he would most likely die because he'd have to wait. And the doctors were fighting for him, but basically it boiled down to government stuff. And I was absolutely horrified to find this out. That basically his doctors were telling him, if you do not have this surgery, you're going to die. You need this surgery. They would not approve it. Not only would they not approve it, it would have taken too long, many months, to get it approved, and he would have been dead by then.
That's terrible.
I can say that my experience is a little different.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have other friends who've had wonderful care and treatment. But when I think of that kind of situation, I'm like, holy shit. That's
pretty scary.
A big deal.
The VA sucks.
So I can tell you that an emergency visit in Canada without any insurance and being a U.S. citizen, I had to go for an emergency visit. So it had to be fully billed out. Okay. And I have gone for emergency visits in the States where it's been fully billed out as well. My emergency visits in the States were like 1,000 times more expensive than the emergency visits in Canada. I think it was like $360 total for every lab and everything that they did in Canada. And it was close to 10,000 here.
Yeah, see, I've heard stories like that a lot,
Well, come on. You pay $500 for a Band-Aid. Of course you're going to.
Yeah. Well, when Cole had his accident, there was a bill that we got from the States for transportation. And it was a transportation bill, from your room to the emergency department, or from your room to the surgery department, something like that. And it was like $130 for the transportation from the room.
Oh my God.
Because somebody had to get off their ass to go get a gurney and go put him on a gurney and wheel him down
it wasn't even that. It was we're taking the bed, we're unhooking this, and we're pushing it to this room.
So somebody had to get off their ass
yes.
to go to a
and
room.
Yeah, it was like $130, something like that, for the transportation from one area to another.
The person who did it, obviously, is probably not even getting money, right? They never even see.
Oh, that person probably gets paid minimum wage as a transporter. You know, like either that or it was one of the CNAs or one of the caregivers or
the one that getting $5 an hour.
Yeah, something they make what I think minimum wage for Washington is insane, actually, but it's like $16.28 now as of January.
Oh, okay. I don't know what ours is in Ohio. So, I mean, I know if you pretty much work at McDonald's down the street, it's $18 an hour.
The flip burgers. Want fries with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, since the whole pandemic thing and since it's been harder and harder to find employees to work jobs, the wages for jobs, some of these wages are insane amounts for what the job is.
Did you know that Washington State is now, because of an agricultural tax, our eggs are going up by another $1?
Dude, I tell you what, 5 dozen eggs, how much was it? It was like $18 or something?
We're getting chicken.
$22 for 5 dozen eggs at Walmart. The last time we went down there and we were like, nope, I guess we don't do eggs.
That's why we're going back to 3 hens.
Yeah. Ridiculous amounts.
Kiss my ass.
Well, that's why I would never live in California either. I mean, you hear stuff about the gas and the milk and all these things. It's like, no way.
Okay, but hold on.
Nope.
Okay, you guys are here talking about Canadian healthcare like it's God's almighty hand. Yet, a fucking gallon of fucking milk is $8 in fucking Canada.
Yeah.
A freaking gallon of gas is $9 right now. Friend. Like,
because they do by the liter, and it's like $2.50 something a liter.
My parents pay over $200 a month in carbon tax. Like, we don't pay for health care, but we pay for it in other ways.
Well, and you pay for medication.
It's all paid for by our taxes. Yes, we pay for medication. Plus, friggin', do you realize that, like, it takes my dad in Alberta almost 6 months to get an MRI sometimes because there's only 4 of them.
Yeah, and the backlog on it is ridiculous.
In all of Alberta. Imagine if Seattle or Washington had 4 MRI machines in the state. How would we fare?
Dude, we have 4 of them in Skagit County.
You guys got to realize, no matter where you live, there is going to be problems. Just because these guys have, Canada has okay healthcare, and I'm going to say that, it is okay. It's not great. Friend, it's better than what we have in the U.S., but a lot of things in the U.S. are a lot better than they are in Canada right now. It will never be this cheap to live in Canada.
No, God, no.
Friend,
the cost of living there is ridiculous.
Me and Kayla, we have over time thought of moving back every once in a while, and every time we look at everything comparatively, we can't afford to.
Yeah,
even if, so, like, when we did live there, Cole was making really, really pretty good money working for the Jaguar. And we had...
I made better money with Dad.
Yeah. But the cost of living and the cost of groceries and the cost of everything else, we had less money in pocket than we do now, even though I'm making significantly less than he was making at that point.
And things like food stamps don't exist.
I remember when I was a kid and it was like cereal was crazy small and it was like really expensive for this little tiny box of cereal when I was young in Canada.
And you got to look at the programs we have here.
Yeah, there are a lot more government
Canada.
programs.
That doesn't exist. You buy formula out of your damn pocket.
Yeah.
Friend. So, the United States has its problems, but at the same time, every country does.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can even take countries like that everybody says are like the top of the top country, and they still have their issues. Denmark still has its issues, even though it's considered one of the best places in the world to live.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere you go, there's going to be something.
Yeah.
Or like even like Rosella, like saying you couldn't live in California. The difference is you're never going to make the wage in Ohio that they do in California.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what job you do. Friend, they will always make a bigger wage than you. Friend, so it does comparatively work out. Friend, it has to, because obviously people are doing it.
Well, okay, let's look at Alabama for a second. So they get the minimum of the minimum wage.
Yeah, it's like $7.20 or something.
$7.50.
It's like $7.50.
Yeah,
there
they
we
get
go.
$7.50 an hour. And if you're a waitress, you're getting $2 an hour because your tips are supposed to make that up. The difference is their gas is probably $1.50 a gallon, $1.99 a gallon. Their milk is probably
dollar something. Yeah.
So you can bitch and moan about
And
prices.
they have Dollar General and Buc-ee's and Waffle House. Fuck that.
Well, and if you were to, if you look at the amount that rents are down there,
right,
and that kind of stuff too,
they're
it
still paying
evens that out.
$400 a month for a 2-bedroom house. I mean, you have to look at the cost of living versus the
as
wage.
a whole. Yeah.
So we bitch about it here, but
what was
that, Rick?
Oh, I was just going to say, well, we talked about this, where it's the same. Alabama's probably the same, I'm going to guess, same way it is in Texas, which is, you can, the cost of living is awesome comparatively. But for all the trade-off is, for example, house prices, land, much cheaper. And your payments, but you have to pay for electricity because you have to have air conditioning 10 out of the 12 months of the year. It's the only way you can live. So, or most people can get by on it. So, it's not like up here. You don't have a cost of electricity, $350, $400 a month going out the window. Yes, you pay more for the, cost of your monthly payments and everything, but you make up for it in other ways. So,
right, in Ohio, obviously, it's
Have it in heat.
In Ohio, the land is cheaper, right?
Right.
So, it depends too where you are in terms of city versus suburban, obviously.
Oh yeah, but that's every area. You're gonna have cheaper cost of living out in the country than you are in the city.
Right.
Yeah, but a lot of people during COVID were just picking up and moving. I've always wanted to live in California, so I'm just going to go because I can work anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
now that everything is remote, for sure.
That's a luxury, though.
It really still is. I mean, I think it's funny how people were really throwing it around and they were doing it, but it is a luxury.
Well,
you have to keep people out.
It's screwing us a little bit. I'm going to say that because, with all these companies going remote, friend, they honestly need to put a cap on cross-state working, friend, because we have so many people that now work in Seattle at some of these huge businesses or California, but they live in Arizona.
Oh wow!
So their taxes are insanely cheaper.
Yep. You're not paying our taxes here.
Yeah. But they're getting the benefits of half of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, a lot of it, they really do have to figure out how to fix that with all the amount of remote working we have now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's build a wall and make Oregon and Idaho pay for it.
Oh my god.
Build a wall.
Have you not heard how bad of an idea that is? Because then they just fill it with especially Washington, it will automatically fill with fucking water.
Yeah.
Think of how much it rains here. Fuck. We're screwed.
Hey, Polly's making chicken noodle soup.
Ow. Singing wall.
You need some chicken noodle soup, Cole.
Friend, I don't have a cold. What are you guys talking about? Friend, I'm here. What?
You're here?
Kind of.
So,
We're all
so
here.
the last area I kind of wanted to bring up tonight was a different kind of parasite, and I think about all the. You ever just walk into a room or ridden with somebody in a car, and you just got tired? Like
Yeah.
all your energy was just sapped?
No,
No, you're lucky.
I don't have energy.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I have.
So see, it was probably already sapped.
I know. I have 4 kids that do that.
So energy vamps. That's another form of parasite. They're,
Children.
but yeah, I think children
They're
are
energy vamps. I swear to God.
Until the age of 18, maybe.
I don't think so.
No.
You'd suck the life out of me.
Is it
I
more
don't
like
honestly
21?
think that goes away at 18.
Maybe not.
No. Nowadays it's like 45. Okay.
Yeah. My God. I always tell my children I won't make it to 50. You're going to kill me. Not trying to give me a heart attack, especially this last week.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Going
Funny
to
as
die.
hell.
No, what do you guys know about energy vamps, though? I know you guys do.
Now I gotta
They
say
don't
there
like the
are.
sun.
Oh my
Those
God.
ones don't give a fuck.
Oh,
There has been times where I've walked into like a conference or I've gone into like a large group setting
Large
of
group
people,
of people, yeah.
and I was totally fine when I went in there. I had energy. I was like, all right, let's do this. And then you get in there and you're like, holy crap. And it's before the person even starts talking, so it's not that they're like monotone and boring or anything like that, but you just feel like everything inside of you was just sucked out, and you're like, oh my God, I am so tired. Like,
they
Yeah.
love velvet capes.
What?
They
There
love
is a lot
velvet
of,
capes.
yeah, I think, well,
Them sons of bitches.
who really do. If you know that there's somebody always, a narcissistic person too, when you're going to be around them and you're like, God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go around this person because they suck the life out of you because they're always trying to like gaslight you and play the mind games and you're so over it. That kind of gets you too.
yeah.
But
That's
I've
why I don't
been
watch
there,
the
like
news.
kind of what you're talking about. There's a conference I went to for, it was a psychic actually conference, and I walked in and I was like, I'm just dying in here. Like all the people, I felt like most of them, sadly, were like really just fake, and it was so there was so much energy in the room for the people who were trying to get the readings, who came to have that reading for hope, connecting to the other side, that kind of thing, and having that spirit come through for them. And it just was draining. It was draining because like all the fake people and the people who are like being lied to, that drained me that one day. It just, and I think I was tired for like 3 days. But
No,
yeah,
Do you remember there was one meeting that I went to where this chick was telling me about how she was psychic, or she had psychic abilities, okay? And she pissed me off. I have never been that mad at somebody, okay? Because without my permission, without anything, she came over and she grabbed my hands.
Oh, they never ask. Yeah, those ones
And-
You were
never.
there.
Huh?
You were there.
Yeah.
Which one?
No, I can't
Was
even
that the
remember.
Paracon?
No, it was down at the library.
Oh, when we were doing
Yeah.
FMP.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But she came over and she grabbed my
yeah.
hands, and then she starts telling me all kinds of stuff that she pulled out of me and this and that, and I'm like, dude, first of all, you did not have fucking permission to touch me. Second
That
of all,
attachment
you
was
did
funny.
not have permission to take anything out of me. Like, that is not okay. And you don't just do that without asking a person or getting their consent first. It's like being like mentally screwed over, and I'm
That
like,
was-
dude, leave me alone. Like, I don't want to hear what you
That was
see or
demonic
what you
assault.
whatever, because
I think Kayla's full of shit. No one's ever pissed her off that bad. Come on, it is my husbandly duty.
To piss her off
I
every
have
day.
done way.
well, I mean, like in that realm, I guess is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
The-
Okay? Like,
Or
Pissed off possibility?
Yeah, because I'm like, I am a person that does not like being touched by people I do not know.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that's like a huge thing for me. And
it's called invading your space.
It's just too much.
Right.
And then to bring up shit that I'm like, okay, first of all, we are in a group setting. You don't know me. And you're trying to tell me about, like, my childhood and about my parents and I'm like, dude, no, you need to just stop. Like,
that's where
whether it was or wasn't true, that's beyond the point.
Those are
but
people
just bringing it up is like
boundaries. My favorite part though was I let her do it, and she didn't get a fucking single thing right about me.
No, because they all jumped off you and onto Kayla.
Friend. And once she realized she was starting to get everything wrong, she immediately moved to Kayla.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because, it's like that negative attention thing that I was saying earlier. It's like we have to have attention, so we'll just go for it, and hopefully it works out for me. But, oh, wait, their faces are changing, their body language is, they're angry. Better move on to the next victim who will listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sad because those are the fake people, if you ask me.
Right.
Those attention seekers. They'll do anything for attention, even if it's ruining their own, image and everything. I don't understand that kind of thing. But I think it also depends on how you were raised and what your parents let you get away with. If your parents didn't tell you were being immoral, selfish, and, attention seeking, and how it was just coming off bad, then didn't stop.
They're obviously also known. They're comfortable with doing that. If they're doing that with one or two people, they've most likely been doing that for a very long time.
Yeah, it's like they just
because of the no boundary issue.
Mm-hmm. No, there was a time too where I was at the fair, and we had a booth at the fair, and this one dude walked by and stopped for a second, like just grabbed some of the little pins and pamphlets and that type of thing, and the second he walked up to the thing, I felt like vomiting. Like, I got, like, the worst scent, like, and then it felt just like I was sick for, like, an hour afterwards.
Here's the thing.
Wow.
Did he do that to any other booth? Probably not. But we were Forest Moon Paranormal or S-4 Radio or whatever. Paranormal draws those types of people.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
I remember the birds aren't real, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, holy fuck.
He came and...
My favorite one was still the girl that I was about to sell Paracon tickets to, and then Izzy grabbed me by the shoulders, spun me around, and pushed me towards the back of the tent. Because it was an energy vamp.
Yep.
And both you guys identified her right away, and I was just going to sell her fucking Paracon tickets. I didn't give a fuck.
She's feeding off you.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. And they're all drawn to paranormal. They're all drawn to paracons. I mean, I guarantee we had...
Because they're parasites.
Yep. Yep.
Exactly.
They're just looking for attention anywhere they can.
Them and the Men in Black. Yep. The Men in Black go there, too. There's always that weird, creepy dude. Huh?
Different subject.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. But
sure.
There's always that creepy dude that hangs around.
Yeah, there's always that one guy that you're like, you don't fit. And they don't ever ask anything. They don't ever sit through all the... They just kind of wander around from table to table and then stare at people.
Yeah, birds. So, Rick, birds aren't real making a comeback. In media.
Do you know what else has made a really hardcore comeback over the last, like, 5 years? Is flat earthers.
Well, they're the same milk. Those are, I guarantee I can guarantee the birders and the flat earthers are the same.
They're probably the same group of people.
Yeah,
they're just...
they are. And I just recently watched the kid that was a big kind of spokesperson for the whole movement, and they were laughing at him at first, and he got offended naturally because he's serious. Birds aren't real, and they're like, "Wait, you really believe this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so I've been doing a deep dive in cults as well. There's a cult. I can't remember this dude's name, but according to this cult leader, haven't you ever driven down the road and you see rows and rows of birds on the power lines? They're recharging.
Oh my god.
I would have said, no, I drive on the sidewalk, motherfucker.
Like, are you fucking
Run.
Well, here's the same dude that came out and said winter is fake. There's no such thing as winter.
What?
There's no such thing as winter. Winter is actually, there's only 2 seasons.
That bastard's never been to Manitoba.
No shit. And all the government's doing is they're feeding ice crystals in clouds, and that makes snow.
Wow.
Like, are you fucking serious? And you know what? You know the sad part about this shit is this motherfucker had 90,000 followers.
Oh yeah.
It's so awful. Yes, that's what's so maddening. It's like that alien thing that we talked about before. The Avatar thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Avatar people who believe I'm going to kill myself and going to go to another planet. Oh my god, I had 5 of those readings that I had to do, and I'm like, I mean, how do I just not hang the heck up on this person, be like mentally ill person?
Oh god. So I'm gonna be a jackass here, and I'm gonna say, obviously, the Earth is spherical, duh. Okay, but the universe is flat, so that's cool.
Yeah.
It's flat-ish. Okay? Number 1, it's flat-ish. Number 2, it's fucking, we don't actually know that. We can't see it.
You know
this
what?
is bullshit. It's like saying the rings of Saturn are flat. And then they say, well, they have mountains. Fuck that shit. You can't have mountains and be flat. Fuck.
You don't think we're just a little tiny ball?
Flat.
Men in Black, where they...
If we're a tiny ball, it's not flat.
No.
The hardest thing I have, I cannot look. My face gives it away with like my expressions, where I'm like, "Oh shit, you're crazy." Oh man. Like, now what do I do? How do I get rid of the crazy without getting it mad?
So I'm going to tell you something, Rosella. This is why I cannot ever do a show where I'm on camera. Okay?
No.
Because my eyes will automatically roll for certain things. Like I'm like, oh fucking Jesus, or like, okay, I am that person.
Well,
my facial features are just like nerk, like they are horrible.
A couple months ago, we had my parents on here, right?
My husband was like, okay,
Right.
may I control your face? Like, if you're giving everything away.
Do you guys remember the show with my mom and dad? Friend that we did, I think it was in November.
No, that was just us.
Was it just us?
I think so.
No.
No.
This time they were.
That was when Joe was still on. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Joe, Nikki.
Yeah.
It was Joe and Nikki.
Yeah, Joe, Nikki, and Rick.
And
Rosella wasn't with us yet.
But I asked Mom and Dad how they liked it, and Mom absolutely loved it. Mom actually wanted to come on last week because she was really interested to the subject line. And the only thing my dad says was, "I'm glad you guys have fun because you're all fucking nuts."
Yeah. Kind of.
Really? Because he told me, you found your people. I was like, oh my god.
Friend, but there is just some things that some people can accept, some people can't. There's some things that just, some people have a way better fucking imagination than I do. And there's also some things that some people have a way worse imagination, because if you honestly think the earth is flat, friend, your entire life is fucking flat. Fuck you.
You're a 2-dimensional being in a 3-dimensional world.
I didn't even know about the bird thing until recently. But my feeling about most people that say they believe in a flat earth is that they're doing it for attention. They're not doing it because they believe it. Or it's a troll. Because, NBA players there for a while, they were about, 10 to a dozen of them that suddenly decided they were all flat earthers. And they couldn't tell you why. They just, well, I just know. Well, they wouldn't give you a reason for it, but like anything else, it's a trend on the internet, so they want to be part of the trend. So, and of course, as soon as they, caught real heat for it, and people started questioning them on it, and like, you really don't believe, you understand what this means, right? And then they were, one by one, they sort of fell by the wayside. And I never really believed it. Yeah, I was just messing with y'all. So that's entirely what it is. I'm almost sure it's all just an internet thing. Most everybody that's involved in it has no true belief in it, except for that one guy that launched himself into space and then wound up killing himself. But yeah.
So I will admit that I am kind of an ass
on
certain threads like that, because I went onto the flat Earth thread and I gave them a reason that the Earth could be flat. Okay, because I was like, okay, yes, so the Earth is flat. However, it's like a quarter. When you spin it, it's spinning so fast that it looks round from space. Okay? And I had like so many people like, oh yeah, that has to be the reason. It was honestly kind of great. I will say that. But
well, then you have the Hollow Earth. And I can see more credence to the Hollow Earth theories than I can the Flat Earth.
Yeah.
Earth isn't hollow, only Uranus is.
No.
Sorry, that joke was a little corny.
I have never been a believer in any of the Hollow Earth theories.
I can't remember which tribe. There's actually several tribes that talk about.
That's where the dinosaurs went.
Oh my fuck! Yeah. Okay.
But what if it's like in the Godzilla movies that are out now? This monster, the MonsterVerse, what they call it, with the new ones, with the Godzilla and Kong and all that, where
like all the Pacific Rim type shit.
Hollow, it's that it's there's interdimensional portals that essentially look like what we would just call holes leading down into the center of the Earth, but it's not really going into the center of the Earth. It's an interdimensional portal.
Okay.
You got Mel's hole.
Sure. I mean, it's. No, I mean, like, honestly, it's possible. Anything is freaking possible. And to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, one of these days I finally kick the bucket, I'm floating around, and I'm like, God damn it, the Earth is flat. Okay? Like, honestly, I think it... I don't know. I believe that anything could possibly happen.
It's something that's been put out there. I'm not saying I believe in it at all. It's just it makes more sense than there's just a hole in the middle of the Earth.
Well,
the children from Woolpit.
We can pay somebody $1 to go jump into one of those holes, and if they disappear,
like Mel's hole.
Yeah.
Mel's hole.
Yeah.
Mel's hole.
And we'll just convince them that, hey, it's just a portal. You're not going to hit the bottom and die. You're just going to, yeah.
Out the other side, it'll be all good.
Yeah.
Interdimensional portal, yum.
Now they over in Kazakhstan or one of the former Russian republics, their little side piece they had over there in Central Asia, they dug the world's deepest hole. Now, according to some of the people that worked there were noises coming out of that were unearthly, that they assigned to be, of course, probably no locals, I'm sure. Probably thought some kind of demon or something, but maybe there is something. Maybe there's these caverns that are just out of our reach.
Well, okay, like I was saying, so there's this old, the Children of Woolpit, that these two kids showed up randomly in, like, I think it was Austria, a little Austrian town. It might have been Germany, I can't remember, but They showed up and they had like a green complexion to their skin. And they said they were from this other plane of existence and like all kinds of stuff about it. And they ended up just staying there, and eventually their skin complexions changed to be more normalized to what our complexions are. But they swear that they were from a completely different plane of existence, and everybody in that town swears that they were from a different plane of existence.
Right. Well, look at the time travelers.
Mm-hmm.
They came back and said, this and this and this is going to happen, and they look different. They're wearing different clothes. Who should say they weren't?
Yeah.
Well, that could be
few of them
said
were-
off of the coast of Ireland as well.
That's
Because there's a race of ET that are over there off the coast on a specific island. They've been there for a lot of years.
a few of them, the time travelers, were like the moment they started interviewing, their stories started falling apart. Like there are some of them that are just and it's not even that they're just attention seeking. They're looking for their 15 minutes of fame. That main guy who was on actual news channels who wouldn't show his freaking face. By the end of the interview, he was telling on himself, like, no, it's not really true.
Oh.
Okay. Well, it's just like there's a lot of people that say they're from a different, they're time travelers from this time, and they're time travelers from that time.
We just go back in time because I think we just did this.
Did you? I'm sorry. My bad. That was like my deja vu moment. Leave me alone. I don't care.
Cool. I time traveled.
Yep. You time traveled and I didn't catch up to you.
I've got this shit down. Friend.
That's why you flickered out and in for a little bit there.
I'll be back. We're going to kill Hitler.
Don't kill Hitler.
Kayla, I don't care if he's your friend. I don't.
No, I really honestly believe that there are certain things that would be like set points, okay? And that if this particular thing didn't happen, then it would have such a catastrophic impact on where we are now and how things are now. Like, that they are set points that have to happen throughout history in order to either advance us or in order to change thought processes or whatever it is. And I really, really do believe that that is one of those set points.
Back to the Future.
Okay, I didn't say I was going to kill him before he did all the atrocities. I'm going to wait until afterwards, kill him right before the Russians get there, and then I'm famous. What part of this aren't you getting? Like, this is for me.
I'm pretty sure that even if you didn't kill him, if you figured out how to time travel back to 1942, that you would be famous, sir. Okay.
I want to be more famous, sir. Okay.
Just saying.
I want to be the famous-dist.
The famous desist.
Yeah.
Famouser.
And I'm sorry, my love, but you were brown. He would have shot you before you got a chance to shoot him. If you showed up in his bunker.
Those bullets were...
No, I firmly believe Cole would be the stealthiest with a sniper.
Have you seen him?
Let me jiggle my fat ass.
That's not... There's no way he's going to be the stealthiest person in an open concept room. Okay? I'm sorry, but that would be like me popping in somewhere and being like, you can't see me! Okay? No!
Oh. That was...
Guns fit in bras. Just saying.
I haven't worn a bra in years. Sorry, Nikki. Friend.
That's not
I
true.
wasn't referring to you.
Well, I know you were hoping, but, like, I know you wanted to picture me in that, but... Friend.
You should see him in his mankini. Wow.
It's called a banana boat, thank you. Friend.
Say anything.
It's okay. Pictures will be posted in the chat. Oh.
That's so
I
funny.
almost took a drink of my soda.
I know. I was waiting for you to get that out. Like,
I rarely have soda, which tells you what kind of day it's been. But my God, that would have gone flying across the room. Oh, jeez.
5, 4.
3.
It would have gone viral.
I was waiting.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, so just a question I'm going to throw out there is like completely off subject. What do you guys think a normal heart rate is?
What? A normal heart rate is 120 beats per minute.
640.
Well, like, okay.
67 to 72, 78. Depends on what you've been doing.
Yeah, because mine keeps saying, like, with all the stress I've been going through this last week, 111 to 115.
You're fine.
You're fine. That's an under stress heart rate.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get over 120, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my mom was freaking me out. She's like, "Oh my gosh, it's
Your
supposed to be like 70."
your normal.
I'm like, mine's kinda, it was always at 84 before that.
Your normal low is 60, but it can go from anywhere from that's like your sleeping heart rate would be around 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not mine.
Yeah, it was freaking me
Well,
out.
no.
Mine goes from 60 to 20 to 10 to 60 to 20 to 10.
Oh,
Friend.
good God.
I have
I
sleep
can
apnea.
have a calm meditative heart rate at about 58 to 62.
Yeah. Well, that's in a meditative state, though.
I gotta be perfectly honest,
That's
my
right.
heart rate is never under
sitting in a-
115.
But just sitting and reading, it'll be at about 67.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, mine's, so the Fitbit says 87 now, but I mean, it's usually pretty accurate because, I mean, when I think of the person who's stressing the crap out of me, it goes flying up like in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was waiting for it.
Well, and your blood pressure will go up under stress too. Your blood pressure and your heart rate.
Oh my God, I couldn't
Obviously.
swallow. Shit.
I've never had that problem.
She blow.
If you're under stress or in pain, is when your blood pressure at a sitting point will go up.
I mean, you don't need to talk about this
I don't think
person.
mine
It just
does.
you can just see the numbers
think
start to
mine
go
does.
up. It's
As a
insane.
smoker, mine's always high.
Mine's not.
Mine is.
See,
Mine's always low.
now
Yeah.
mine is always high. Like,
All women are sitting
seriously.
here talking about sucking dick, and we're sitting here talking about our heart rates.
Oh, she blew her like soda all over. I was waiting for it.
Sure, soda. Yeah, soda.
No.
Just a matter of time.
No, I'm like, honestly, my resting heart rate is 115. My heart rate's always been super high.
Yeah.
But
Because
I
everything on
think,
the internet that said over 120 is something to be scared about. But I'm like,
No.
well, I mean, yeah, because normally if I'm working out, it's like 100, and it usually doesn't go over 100.
I
Now
would
this
worry
week-
about 150.
yeah, around 150, 145
where you really
is
need to
where
worry
you
about
really
it.
got to actually start worrying about hypertension and shit.
Yeah.
But before
Okay.
that, you're solid. You're fine.
Okay.
And it depends on the person as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, my heart rate is always way higher. Okay, my heart rate has always been way higher. But I can get to 165, 170, and I'm still fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my working out. But
Yeah.
if I hit like 200, then I got to start worrying about it.
Right.
One of the things that my cardiologist a number of years ago told me was you can also go in and have a, not a paramedic, a fireman go into a firehouse and have them do your blood pressure. It used to be free, I don't know.
No, here. You go to a firehouse here, you're lucky to find a fireman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can make Kayla's jump real quick. Her heart rate. We're on Discord. Watch.
Don't check it. Ah! Okay. You know, I don't do contortion. Ever.
You shouldn't. We're married.
Oh, shut up.
I put them over there.
That's something. You can kiss her own ass. Oh my God.
Don't say I'm not psychic. I told you she was going to spit it out. It's just a matter of time.
No, it's off to the side of me now because this is an interesting conversation.
Do you know what's funny about this, Nikki? That guy, he can pull his own soul cord out with his teeth.
Oh. Yeah, he can kiss
I can't stop watching it. It's like a train wreck. I hate it.
He can kiss his own ass goodbye.
Get
Yeah.
it away.
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't imagine ever being that flexible. Okay? Like,
No.
no freaking way.
Well, it wasn't last week we were talking about the zombie drug
Oh, yeah.
where they touch their own toes.
Well, let's see if this helps.
No! Oh, you asshole. No! Okay, I'm deleting that.
How's your heart rate?
Okay, you know, okay.
180 now.
Okay, so I gotta tell you, my 3 completely irrational fears, okay? Mirrors, moths, and contortionists. Okay?
Oh my.
Why mirrors?
Huh?
Yeah.
Why
You know-
mirrors?
I have no idea. I've always
I
been...
do. I do. I know this one.
Yeah, well, I do too, but... okay, so I
You know
don't...
those whole things where, like, you're looking in the mirror and then you look away, but you're the girl, like the person in the mirror doesn't. That terrifies Kayla because she's scared it's going to happen.
I am. Okay, I am. I'm absolutely terrified of that. But
Too
I
many scary
don't
movies as a
own
child.
any mirrors. My house has no mirrs in it.
That's not
I have 2 little tiny mirrors in the
I'm slowly
bathroom,
moving them back in.
but they're
Yeah, I
also
Mirror in the room.
like way higher up, so I don't actually have to look in them if I don't want to.
Reflective surface.
We have reflective surfaces. I have windows all over this damn
yeah,
place.
but they fuck you up too.
They do
They
fuck
also
me up.
need to
They do
rain.
fuck me up. I cannot handle reflections. Okay, which is the stupidest thing because when we first bought this house, the entire back wall in the living room was mirrors.
I wonder,
I told you,
if
Eric.
you had a black-eyed kid come to your door and you put a mirror in front of them, if you could see, if they could see themselves.
So when they knock on your door, you go, wait, I gotta go get the mirror.
Yeah, I would.
Come and knock on my door. I'll be waiting for you.
I was saying something why I said that joke.
You know, I gotta be honest, man.
Get
That-
on board, Nikki.
That would be, like, and I've said it before, black-eyed children would be my automatic downfall, okay? Because any baby comes to my door and says, I need your help, I'm opening that damn door and being like, oh my god, little baby, come here! And then we're all dead. We're all
I have
dead.
been with you through 2 pregnancies.
Could I come
Hershey's
in
is your
and-
downfall.
Okay, Hershey's is my downfall.
Can I
love
come in
Hershey's.
and use your telegraph?
This is why I have cameras above my door. I'm just saying. Now I'm like, I'm not answering the door.
Like to your bedroom?
Good. To my bedroom?
And like I said, I gotta be perfectly honest,
Thank God it's not in my house.
I don't think there's a damn person I wouldn't answer that door for, no matter who the fuck they were. If somebody comes and knocks on my door for any reason, if they need help for any reason, I'm opening the door.
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
Hello.
There he is.
Hey.
Yeah, just back from town.
You
Very
came in to
happy.
say goodbye.
Yep, just here to say goodbye.
Look, and I'll be honest, I believe in, I guess, I don't know, I believe in humanity too much, because honestly, seriously,
I know.
anybody could come and ask me a question and I'd answer it. I don't care who they are,
yeah, I don't know.
I
It does
have
scare
to.
me. It scares me if I'm in my car and it happens. That's the only thing that scares me.
oh, when
Like,
somebody knocks on your window?
Yeah, that scares me.
Usually if somebody's knocking on my window, it's because they want change or they're asking for a cigarette, honestly.
If they're
and I'm like,
knocking on
alright.
your window, they're pretty fucking tall.
That's true.
They call me Slender Man.
I do it every once in a while.
I see Slenderman knocking down your fucking window.
Yeah, Hunter knocks on that window quite often.
Or Bigfoot.
Vehicle windows is what they were talking about, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, knocking on the car window.
Once I'm done with the truck, you're going to have to be pretty fucking tall to knock on the window.
What's the tires?
Friend. Well, it's getting 32-inch rubber and then a 10-inch lift.
Yeah, so see,
So we
then
give
we're
a
going to
Bigfoot
also have to put
eye-dye.
in a set of 15 stairs so that Kayla can get into the truck.
Retractable
That sounds
stairs.
familiar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm going to have like, I'll have a
I was just
little
seeing something today.
rope
where
ladder.
The side opens up and they got a lift.
Well, that's going to be our mountain monster machine.
Yeah, I'm excited about our mountain monster machine.
But how many monsters are they going to be mounting?
All of them.
All of them.
I love mounting them. In Canada, they call me the Mount Me.
Robert. Only you.
Yep.
Well, he's the only one with real monsters in his backyard, so...
Yeah.
How many spiders you mounted today?
Well, they've just been doing the roads, and on the way out, we saw a dead snake. So, don't know if the construction workers were doing something and just had one and killed one, but there was one on the road on the new tar.
Okay, you didn't mount the
Snakes,
dead
spiders.
one, did you? Just asking for a friend. Like, Nikki, did you miss that? I asked him if he mounted the dead snake. You know, friend.
Oh my god.
Well,
I don't think the snake would have been able to say that.
No.
Wow.
my anaconda won't.
That's awesome.
You weren't drinking anything then.
What?
No. It's still sitting over there until after the show. I'm not touching another thing.
She spit her her drink everywhere when she was laughing.
So next week going to be fun. Next week we talking underwater bases.
That's right.
So we can go with the base that's off California. Actually, who wants to take Whidbey Island?
What?
Because
I think you should bring up Michigan.
I know there's a base off Whidbey Island as well.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm just going to be singing the song.
Hmm?
I'm just going to be singing the song.
Underwater bases.
Under the sea.
And so
Also take.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Time out. What are we doing next week?
underwater bases. So USOs. Underwater submergible objects.
Actually, I have a few stories from other people about Michigan, Lake Michigan, and myself.
I have major questions, like how do they hit the baseball when it's underwater?
Very, very slowly.
Well, that sounds even more boring.
You know, 17th inning stretch. Jesus. Okay. All I can think of is Baywatch people now. We're like running in slow motion. I can't help
I think it Jaws.
it. Yeah. Okay, so are we doing underwater human bases?
Combo.
Oh,
Or
Both.
okay.
Yeah.
no, orcs don't have bases.
Government bases or alien.
What about like mer people?
Oh, mer
Is that
people have
called
bases.
base or a home?
It's home base.
Mer people are people too.
People got reason.
Has anybody been to the Yule Curiosity Shop in Seattle?
Yes, you took
Oh,
me
I
there.
haven't been
No,
there
but I
in
want to go.
years.
Okay.
Man.
They have a mer person there, but all it is
Yes, they do.
a fish that
Yep.
they like surgically implanted a monkey half on.
Grab one.
Yeah. It
Oh my
actually is pretty freaking cool looking. It's like a skeleton monkey half fish thing. And I'm like, oh, dude, sweet. But I think that mer people are the other way around. I think they have the bottom half of humans and the upper half of a guppy. Can you imagine an angler person? It's like blah, 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 blah.
Well, just be thankful that they called Aquaman, because semen would have been something awkward.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. This is the only way that they can reproduce is if the bottom half is human. I mean, it just doesn't make any logical sense to be a fish tail. Like, come on.
Well, have you seen all the video evidence of mermaids?
No, I haven't seen anything.
No, I haven't.
Oh my god!
I don't.
I'll throw a link in when I get home. When I get to the house.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure about this half human, half. I think that they'd be more like the creature from the Black Lagoon, where they're not like really human-y at all. I mean, they might have like arms and like that kind of shit, but I think they're more like reptilian looking. Like, I don't know.
No, so a few years ago, I watched a documentary on video captures of mermaids. The one they showed, she wasn't a glorious-looking woman. She was very humanoid looking, though.
Well,
And
yeah,
she
but
was
I mean,
female in that one.
okay, so realistically, and the only reason that I say that he like Disney style, where it's
Right.
like honestly half human on top and half fish on the bottom, is because human skin would not survive in that type of environment. It wouldn't. There's no possible way. Like, you sit in the bathtub for too long and you start getting all,
No, but
you know, yeah.
realistically,
And it's salt water.
They are scaly and supposed.
But that's what I'm saying. They would have to be more like amphibian type or like more fishy scaly.
Right.
Then they couldn't have human skin and survive in salt water. Like, it just.
Well, some of the fish have that protective barrier, and they don't have scales. Some of them
Yeah.
have that, and it's like a slime.
Plus, it worked
They
with the Little
give off
Mermaid.
if they're out of the water.
Yeah, or like more like dolphin skin or some. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Where they're like mammals, so they have like dolphin-y type skin or mantid-y type skin, but it could not possibly be actually human skin because it wouldn't survive in those.
No, absolutely
Could
not.
you
environment.
imagine if a minotaur and a mermaid had a baby? And
Yeah.
it just came out as a human baby and so fucking boring?
It'd be a
Like-
Myanmar.
That would be so fucked.
Wouldn't that be like what the water horse is?
There's a water horse?
Yeah.
Seahorse.
Yes.
No. The carpies.
Oh, okay,
Carpies.
okay.
Yeah.
A minotaur is a bull.
Is it? I
Yeah.
thought that was. Oh,
That's centaur.
that's a centaur.
Manatee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Friend.
Yeah, the Minotaurs from ancient Greece.
I don't know. We gotta stop squishing so many different species together to make new species. This is weird. Okay, like
And the aliens, play
Hey,
aliens.
Yeah, when
You
you
know.
stop, we'll stop.
The evil
Okay?
for thousands of years.
They dropped them all
Yeah.
in the Earth Zoo.
no, let's not.
Friend.
Like, ooh.
The planet of Dr. Moreau.
To be perfectly honest, I would much rather be like Ursula, like half octopus,
What?
than like half fish.
You have all these tentacles to walk on?
Yeah, like I'd much rather be half octopus than half fish. If I had to pick one.
We are almost out of time tonight, guys. So before we go, I do want to say happy birthday again to Eric, and happy birthday next week to Rick.
Happy birthday, Ricky!
For our two
Yes, happy
oldest
birthday.
members
You're older
of the human race are both turning 55. Eric already did, but friend,
Ew,
What's up,
old
Goldie?
balls.
56 next week.
friend, do you?
definitely drive 55 now.
My birthday's March 3rd.
No, Nikki's older than we are, I think.
Mine's February 28th.
Friend, Friday marks 40 days to my birthday, and so my mother-in-law bought me 40 presents, one to open each day up to it. Friend, that woman's crazy, but I love her.
Oh, you gotta start that on the 23rd.
Yeah, I gotta start that on Friday.
A half-inch wrench?
Yeah. Well, actually,
That's pretty
I already
cool.
figured out what one of them is just by the weight
Yeah.
and the shape. It's a 6-pack of Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh, okay.
Guaranteed.
Did you shake them?
No.
Okay.
Why would you do that? Then it's useless.
Oh, all right. Good night, folks. We'll see you next week as we talk about underwater, government, alien, whatever the hell.
Mer people.
Absolutely,
And
everybody.
Underwater submerged objects.
Friend, don't forget, you can check us out on Spreaker.com. You can also check us out on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on Apple Music, on all your major streaming services. Check out the Discord at discord.com and we are the S-4 Bunker Paranormal. So,
And tell your friends.
Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta be perfectly honest. When you said underwater bases, I was like, yeah, all the IUDs. Like, that's what hit my head, and I was like, oh, no.
Oh my God, Kayla.
Nice.
they got rid of a lot of those after World War II. Friend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for listening, and have a good night. We will see you next Wednesday.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Night, people.
Bye.
Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit eater.